Welcome back to the Leroy Glover podcast. I'm your host, Leroy Glover, and today we're diving into a concept that will shift how you see your personal growth. What if I told you that every major transition in your life follows the same learning curve as a toddler learning the ABCs? Think about it. When a toddler is first introduced to letters, numbers, or shape, none of it makes sense. They struggle, they get frustrated, and question whether they'll ever get it. But over time, through repetition, persistence, and effort, the pieces start to come together. Suddenly, what once seemed impossible becomes second nature. Now, what if I told you that every challenge you face in life follows the same process? Every time you enter a new life station, whether it's stepping into a new leadership role, shifting careers, or letting go of something that no longer serves you, you go through the same learning curve. Like the confusion phase, the what's this phase. Just like a toddler starting at unfamiliar letters, when you step into something new, nothing makes sense at first. It's overwhelming. You wonder if you're even in the right place. This is normal. It's just the beginning of the learning curve. Then you have the resistance phase, the this is hard phase. Once a toddler starts recognizing letters, they shift. They still struggle to put them together. They resist. They get frustrated. This is where most people quit. The discomfort of growth makes them retreat to what's familiar. But if you keep pushing, you'll reach the next phase, which is the struggle phase, the I almost get it phase. This is where everything clicks, slowly at first, then all at once. Just like a child suddenly recognizing letters and forming words, you start seeing progress. Most breakthroughs happen right after the struggle phase. And here's the truth. Most people quit in the resistance phase. Right before the struggle phase leads them to success. So, where are you in your learning curve right now? Are you confused, resisting, or struggling? Drop a comment and let me know. I want to hear your experience. And if you want to master this process and level up your mindset, please check out my 30 plus books on Amazon. They're designed to help you push through the learning curve and step into your next level. Until next time, trust the process, closely observe your struggle phase, and keep going. Your breakthrough might be closer than you think.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to another deep dive. Today, we're tackling something we all deal with, learning curves.
Yeah, those things can be a real roller coaster ride, can't they? Ups and downs, twists and turns.
Absolutely. But that's why we're here today, to really get into those curves with some insights from Leroy Glover. You might have heard his motivational podcast, The Learning Curve to Your Next Level.
Oh, yeah, I've listened to that one. Really interesting stuff.
Yeah, I found his take really unique, especially the way he compares learning something new to, well, toddlers learning their ABCs.
That's a pretty powerful analogy, right? I mean, we've all been there at some point.
Right. And no matter what we're trying to learn, it feels like we go through similar stages. So before we get into specifics, what are your first thoughts on that comparison? Is it too simplistic, or is there something deeper there?
I think it's a great starting point. It highlights the universality of the learning process, right? We all start somewhere. But, it is important to remember that not all learning curves are as straightforward as learning the alphabet. Some might be more cyclical, others more like a winding path with unexpected detour.
Totally. So maybe not a perfect one-to-one comparison, but the underlying idea is pretty solid.
Definitely. The idea that we navigate through distinct phases, emotionally and psychologically, is where Glover's insights really hit home.
Okay, so let's break down those phases. Glover outlines 3: confusion, resistance, and struggle.
3 phases we all know too well.
Exactly. He starts with confusion and paints this picture of a toddler staring at a bunch of letters, totally lost. And haven't we all felt that way at some point when starting something new?
Oh, absolutely. It's that feeling of, what is this? Like, where do I even begin? And it can be incredibly overwhelming, right? Especially because it's not just everyday confusion.
And it's deeper than that.
Yeah, it's more like feeling intellectually and emotionally disoriented. You're grappling with a whole new system of knowledge, a new way of thinking. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, it's like being dropped in a foreign country where you don't know the language or the customs. Everything's just strange.
Exactly. You're just trying to find your bearings.
And then, just when you think you're starting to get a handle on things, bam, you hit the resistance phase. That this is a hard feeling.
Oh, yeah. This is where a lot of people give up. The frustration kicks in, and you just want to quit.
Makes sense. It's tough to push through that. But Glover makes a really interesting point here. He says that feeling the urge to quit isn't actually a sign of failure.
It's actually a sign that you're on the right track. You're pushing against your comfort zone, really engaging with the material.
So instead of giving up when we hit that resistance, what should we do?
We lean into it. Embrace the struggle. That's how we get to the next phase, the struggle phase. This is the I almost get it stage.
So we're pushing through the resistance and we arrive at more struggle.
Well, it's a different kind of struggle. It's a more productive struggle, I'd say. Remember Glover's example of the child learning to form words? It seems like they're struggling forever, and then suddenly, boom, they're talking.
Those aha moments are the best. It's like everything suddenly clicks.
Exactly. And those breakthroughs often come right after the most intense periods of struggle. So the next time you're feeling lost or frustrated while learning, remember you might be closer to a breakthrough than you think.
That's a great reminder. So, to our listeners out there, think about something you're learning right now. Where are you on this curve? Are you still in that initial confusion phase, trying to make sense of everything?
Yeah, are you wrestling with that resistance, tempted to throw in the towel?
Or maybe you're deep in the struggle phase, feeling that breakthrough just around the corner.
It's helpful to recognize where you are in the process. It can make all the difference.
Absolutely. And if we take a step back and look at the bigger picture, this whole learning curve idea, it's about more than just learning a specific skill, isn't it?
Right. It's about embracing the process of growth, of challenging ourselves.
And understanding that discomfort, those feelings of confusion and frustration, they're often a sign that we're on the right track, that we're pushing ourselves to grow.
It's so true. We live in a world that values instant gratification, but real growth, real mastery, that takes time and effort.
It takes embracing the struggle.
Exactly. The learning curve isn't just about acquiring knowledge. It's about developing resilience, grit, and a willingness to push beyond our limits.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's something to think about. How can you change the way you view the learning curve? Can you see the confusion phase as a chance to explore, the resistance phase as a testament to your commitment, and the struggle phase as the proving ground where true understanding is forged?
And remember, when you feel stuck, you might be just one step away from that aha moment.
So embrace the process. Don't be afraid to struggle a little, because that's where the real magic happens.
Couldn't agree more.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time.